Mrs. Clinton, what has she done for us except be the self-pitying, robotic defendant of someone who is a pathological liar, almost certainly a rapist, and, as I show in the book, a minor war criminal? All she's done is say that it's always someone else's fault. That, plus, very nearly single-handedly, took the work of many people over many years to build up a consensus on national health coverage and universal health care, and just piss it away in a couple of months, so that now there's no question in anybody's mind that the healthcare situation in the United States is much worse than when the Clintons were elected. Probably one of the greatest single social disasters of the century.
If there was some foreign policy experience or brilliance that Hillary Clinton had ever shown, maybe we overlook the fact that she and her husband have never met a foreign political donor they don't like and haven't taken from the Riyadi family in Indonesia to numerous Chinese donors who left this country rather than show up for the hearings on it. But I don't know of any such expertise on her part, except her pretense to have been under fire in Bosnia when she had not. This woman doesn't really have any foreign policy experience worth mentioning. And what is memorable about it is pretty bad. We all remember, or we should, that when Les Aspin had then got the Clinton administration very nearly to do something about the horror in the Balkans that belatedly the Clinton administration did decide to stop, they delayed it because Hillary said, no, no, don't do it. It will take away attention from my brilliant, wonderful healthcare program that we all remember so well. At least on healthcare, she knows enough about the subject to have really changed American healthcare for the worse in her time. About foreign policy, she doesn't even know that much. That's what the Secretary of State is for, and what you want as President is to know. Your Secretary of State spends all her time working to make sure that your policies stick. With this woman, that can't be said. She's always thinking first about herself, second about her husband.
Look, this is the woman who played the race card on Barack Obama. This is the woman who, if you were for change that you can believe in, or whichever change it was, you were voting against. This is the woman whose foreign policy experience consists of making a fool of herself and fabricating a story about Bosnia. This is the woman who, with her husband, have so many connections, fundraising connections overseas, Indonesia, China. Just look up the Senate report on their fundraising activities, the people they've pardoned.
It must be very nerve-wracking if you're president to have a Secretary of State who you know is thinking about 4 years ahead or maybe 8, all the time. Never thinks about anything else, never has thought about anything else, except the possibility that she might one day be president of the United States. Wasn't even a team player in her own husband's administration. Remember, when Les Aspin wanted to do something finally about Sarajevo and the rape of Bosnia, Hillary Clinton said, no, I don't want you intervening. You'll get in the way of my health care plan, which you remember worked out so brilliantly. Someone who simply cannot think about anything but her own ego, or sometimes her husband's. As for Mrs. Clinton, look, after all she's done for us and all she's suffered on our behalf, she feels she's owed the presidency. And, you know, who could possibly disagree? Her life is meaningless if she doesn't get at least a shot. And one can only sympathize. Unless you think, as I do, that people should be distrusted who are running for therapeutic reasons. Because the presidency doesn't calm those demons, as her husband has already proved.